Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a B-movie review and I'll be having a look at the movie Time Warrior. So the first thing I'm going to say about this movie is have a look at this cover, because this cover is pretty misleading on what this film actually is. The story here really is set 95% in a kind of real world setting without any sort of sci-fi elements in it at all. And the story sort of focuses on sort of two young teenagers who sort of end up getting a copy, or a pirate copy, of this sort of new video game that sort of people are playing, and it's kind of obviously meant to be something like Call of Duty, but it's called Time Warrior. However, this actual copy of the game is some kind of almost like initiation device set by Cain from Cain and Abel to initiate young recruits into fighting this kind of eternal war, for one for good and one for evil, etc. And it's a very sort of convoluted and strange plot. So they kind of unwittingly sort of become these time warriors ultimately. One's kind of set for almost like a good side, and one's kind of set for a bad side because he didn't give a vagrant and chain, so therefore he must be evil. And really, as I say, most of this film focuses in the real world. I mean, the main guy, Matt, I suppose, is like the hero. He's kind of like this sort of quiet, sort of polite sort of skater boy who's kind of chasing this pretty girl at school and whatnot. And he's got his sort of friend who is, I say, the son of kind of some rich parents, and he's sort of being set up to be this kind of the evil one, although he really doesn't sort of do anything evil until right at the end of the film. It's a low budget film. Why? Before I actually watched this film, I actually had a look at the budget, and the budget is less than $1 million. And you kind of look at the cover and stuff, you sort of steal these effects. I thought, blimey, how have they managed this? And that's because these effects are barely in it. It's such a strange film. I mean, they have these kind of almost like Tron suit armours that sort of turn up, which is basically the kind of Time Warrior armour, if you like. But it's really, that's kind of really nothing to do with the actual plot. It's just these. I mean, I think, to be honest with you, this film is meant to be sort of a kind of a message film, almost on sort of gun control ultimately, and also the sort of the way maybe video games are kind of affecting young people. But do you know what? I mean, it's obviously a very sort of amateur effort, and I have to say the direction here is extremely flat. Sort of the script is pretty poor. I mean, there's some really weird, illogical choices and things that people do that simply don't make any sense. The acting, I don't mean to sound unfair to this film, because obviously they're not professional actors, and the acting is pretty much across the board less than professional, shall we say. But I do have to say, I kind of quite liked the idea behind it. And the main character, Matt, although he wasn't the best actor, I have to say I kind of quite liked his character, because for like he comes across as a teenager who is very sort of polite and sort of well mannered. So he's kind of almost a little bit against type that you sort of see in these sort of films. So I thought I kind of quite like that aspect of it. And as I say, the actual idea behind it is interesting, and it's just all over the place. Now we do get some action in there. I'm not going to sort of spoil it too much, because you really have to sort of see it to understand what I'm talking about here. But we do sort of see these kind of like these sort of almost like Tron sort of CGI effects, but it's really superficial to what the actual plot is. And to be quite honest, you could have completely taken it away and it would, replaced it with just people with guns, and it wouldn't have made a lot of difference. A very, very strange movie. Don't watch it thinking that it's going to be some kind of sci-fi film based on the cover, because it really isn't. And I think the cover, I have to be honest with you, is fairly misleading. It's an interesting idea, I have to say. It would have been nice to maybe see it with a little bit more polish and a little bit more sort of skill behind it ultimately, to sort of see what it would come up with. I get the impression that this is set up to be maybe a series of films, because the way it ends is very, very open-ended. So I'm not sure if this is meant to be like a series of a few films. And there was a kind of another sort of, I think, Josh Kirby's Time Warrior or something like that back in the 90s, and I'm always wondering if it's meant to be like a series of films like that. But overall, as a film itself, it is very amateur. It's fairly poorly made, even though it has got some interesting ideas in it. So I'm going to have to give this one a 3 out of 10. Have you seen it? Let me know what your thoughts are and leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.